Kak Mira boleh coba ngomong nggak Kak?
Tes tes, halo. Kedengeran kah?
Bentar Kak, aku coba cek dari YouTube-nya dulu. Kak Mira boleh.
Boleh apa?
Udah aman Kak. Udah alhamdulillah ya Allah. Aman aman.
Oke. Hello, everyone. Sorry, we have a little bit of technical problem, so yes.
Hello, Amira. Hi, hi everybody.
Ooh, very cool background. Yay!
Thank you. Yes.
How are you? Hello, Fred. Hello, Sam. I think Fred's speaker is turned off. Maybe you can check it. I can't hear anything. Hello, Sam. Do you want to try your slides?
Okay. So I just want to project it by myself.
Well,
Okay.
if you want to, or if you don't want to, I can help.
I just want to project it by myself first. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, this one.
No, Fred, I cannot hear you. I still cannot hear Fred. Oh, can you try to talk again?
Hi, could you hear us?
Yes, yes. Hi, Mac.
Oh, finally! Woohoo! Oh my god, I'm so nervous.
It's my problem.
Okay, great.
It's no problem. No, you can hear me now. Can you hear me?
Yes,
No, you cannot hear me.
yes, but maybe
yeah.
Okay, say hello.
you can
Say hello to
be a little bit
Say hello to
louder
everyone.
or closer.
I'm very close to my iPhone. No, to my iPad.
Okay, no worries.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Hello, Kenya. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
Bli. How are you? Ken kabarnya, Bli?
I'm good. How are you? Where are you now? Are you in Bali?
No, I'm in Jakarta now.
Okay. Anyway, nice to meet you, Mr. Frechin. Can't wait to learn a
Yeah,
lot
nice to
from
meet you
you.
too.
Yes, nice to
Yeah,
meet you.
nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, can you hear my voice clearly, Amira or
Yeah,
Kanya?
clearly,
Yes,
clear
Okay,
yes.
enough, clear enough.
thank you.
Yes, good.
And can I call you San also?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, San. So
Nice.
just San, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Just call
great.
me Sam.
So you can call me Termana. I'm from Bali anyway. I never been to Vietnam.
Oh, mana. Sorry, I'm just. Amira, I want to. Okay. No. Can you see it?
I think it's loading. We have to wait a bit.
Okay.
Yes, I can see it. Can the others see the slides?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, good. Good.
Okay. So I just cancel it. Good.
Okay. So, just in case that you haven't know that this Zoom meeting is only for the speaker and all the participant will be listening on YouTube. So feel free to talk later on.
Okay, great. So Amira, who can I know who will talk first and how then there will be the in between us who will talk first, the second, and the rest?
Yes, I think you will talk first, and then Fred will talk second, and then the third one will be Gongseng, and the last one will be Ajar. How's that sound? Is it good?
Great.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you.
Any other question?
Can I also try my slide here? Maybe I can also share my screen.
I think your voice is too small.
Yeah, Amira, Amira, Kania, I cannot hear you quite clear. Sorry.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes?
Yes.
Is
Yes,
it
but still
clear?
quite far. It's still a bit far,
yeah?
Kania. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, maybe I will use headset.
Hello?
Wait. Hello?
Yes, it's
Much
better.
better, much better.
Okay. So can I also trying my excuse me, my slides?
Sure, sure.
Okay. Um, Tunggu ya.
Oh ya, untuk slide-ku nanti Amira yang bantu ya untuk
Yeah.
present. Oke.
Okay.
Okay, good. It's
Wow.
work.
Oke,
So good.
aman.
Oke, aku mau belajar sama
Thank
kamu ya,
you.
Ke.
Aduh, malu banget ya. FYI guys, Permana and me, we've been always together in the international things. So it's like a reunion for us.
Yeah, even we got close Jakarta and Bali, but then, sometimes Kania and Bali, but it's hard for us to meet each other. But anyway, we met in Zoom right now. So how are you? How's in Thailand, in Taiwan now? You still have time to chit chat, right, Amira? Or
We still have 2 minutes.
okay, because Bali is quite rainy right now. For the last few days, quite rainy season in Bali, and the wind is quite strong. So how about in your place, guys? How about in Taiwan, Gretchen? Is it the weather quite friendly with it? Or Gosan, how about the weather in Taiwan? Is it
It's raining
clear,
and kind of cold.
kind of cold?
Yeah, but it's winter, so, so and the rain is
How about
finally stopped.
mm,
Mm.
yeah, hopefully, the global warming wouldn't give us, will make us survive, hopefully.
Mm. I think I need to blur my background, but how can I use it? Because the background is too messy.
You can use the arrow beside the videos and then choose the blur my background from
Okay.
your computer.
Okay.
The arrow after the video.
Okay. Because I'm bad at using computer.
It's okay.
Okay, let's.
No problem, Josan. Me too. So it's not only you.
We are all no digital native.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a digital.
Di sini agak hujan-hujan, tapi Amira kalau aku mulai goyang, kabari aku mungkin off cam.
Okay.
Dingin banget sini, Ke. Serius. Apa ada pohon di sebelah rumahku, dahannya retak, jadi kabel wifi ku putus. Jadi ini pakai tethering HP.
Ya ampun.
Dia ada angin puting beliung di Sanur semalam.
Oh ya?
Hmm,
Wow.
semalam di sini karya.
Oh my God, I hope you guys are okay ya in Bali.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
last
mean,
night it was, sorry, yeah, it was quite, we got like small, well, very hard rain and wind close by here in Sanur. So for about 20 minutes with motorbikes from here. So some trees that falling apart on the big street. And today still the rain is quite heavy and the wind is really strong in Denpasar, Bali. So yeah. Gosan, yeah. Okay.
Singgula.
Jakarta aman, Ke?
Yeah, we got raining all night, like always in the early morning or late night, raining like continuously, and then make some of our places flooding. Like it's common in Jakarta, like even just a little bit of rain, they probably like floats. So yeah, but I don't know in contrast office.
It's raining very heavily every day. Maybe because we are in the same region. But anyway, do you mind if we start now?
Go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, good.
Could you hear? Could you hear us? Oh, sorry. Just check.
Okay. I'll start then. Good evening, everyone that join us from Indonesia, Taiwan, or different part of the world on behalf of the Organizing Committee, I would like to warmly welcome you to today's international webinar called The Role of Civil Society Organization for Transitional Justice. We are truly honored by your presence and participation. My name is Azlia Amira Putri from Commission for the Disappearance and Victim of Violence, or CONTRAS, and I'll be serving you as moderator for today's session. Before we begin, allow me to go over a few points. First is this webinar will be held in English and being recorded live on YouTube and Zoom. And second is please don't hesitate to ask on the live chat as we have a session for question and answer later. You can ask at any point of the discussion and we will gather all the questions at the end, and thank you for your cooperation. And now maybe I would like to introduce about the issue today. And since the fall of the new order, Indonesia has adopted various legal and institutional instruments to address gross human rights violations. The country's history includes several instances of serious human rights abuse, most notably the 1965 until 1966 tragedy. This period saw a series of large-scale killing and civil unrest primarily targeting members and perceived sympathies of the Communist Party of Indonesia, or PKI, with an estimated 1 million lives lost. However, over time, it has become clear that this process never fully addressed the roots of impunity. This failure has given rise to structural impunity that directly impacts the security and freedom of movement. Taiwan, on the other side, has developed a relatively more systematic transitional justice framework through the establishment of a truth commission and the strengthening of national human rights institutions. Similarly, from 1949 to 1987, Taiwan experienced a prolonged period of martial law and systemic political repression, known as the White Terror. Under Kuomintang or KMT rule, thousands of people were tortured, imprisoned, executed, or exiled for being deemed threat to national security. To address such legacies of abuse, transitional justice has emerged as a conceptual framework and a set of mechanisms designed to provide accountability and healing. After the fall of White Terror around the middle of 1990s, the state provided a compensation for the 228 incident and the White Terror to the victims' families. Later on, in 2016, through transitional justice efforts were initiated and established two commissions to address KMT wrongdoing in the past, which is the Ill-Gotten Party Asset Settlement Committee, or CHIPAS, and Transitional Justice Commission, or TGC. And this webinar will explore how transitional justice is implemented in Indonesia and Taiwan, and sharing perspective both from victim communities and CSO. And next, I would like to introduce our speaker today. First, we have Ngurah Termana from Komunitas Taman 65. Ngurah Termana has been active in Komunitas Taman 65 since 2005. He has been actively involved in historical truth-telling campaigns, particularly regarding the 1965 violence in Bali and Indonesia. He is also an early member of the Amnesty International Indonesia Society and is frequently invited to attend events related to historical truth-telling and in transitional justice, including the 2020 conference, revisiting the transformative potential of transitional justice held in Berlin. Second, we have Fred Chin, or Chin Hin Sam. He was born in Ipoh, Perak, Malaysia in 1949. During the 1970s, under Taiwan White Terror era, he was studying in Taiwan when he was falsely imprisoned for 12 years, enduring torture, isolation, and injustice under martial law. He was detained on accusation of involvement in the Tainan-US Information Service bombing incident and alleged ties to the Communist Party in Malaysia. Today, Fred volunteers at the National Human Rights Museum, where he shares his story with public and advocates for human rights and democracy. And third, we have Sam Wang, Executive Director of the Taiwan Youth Association for Transitional Justice and Consent, currently pursuing master degree in Taiwan literature at National Chenghe University. Sam joined the organization team of the Gongsheng commemoration in 2021. His work focused on advocating for transitional justice by transforming Taiwan historical narrative into fiction. And last, we have Kania Mamonto from Asia Justice and Right. She is a human rights practitioner at Ajar, working on transitional justice, women's rights, and community-based peace building. She is a mentor of young activists, women human rights defenders, and communities. With Ajar, Kania also designed intergenerational learning space that connect history with today's struggle and strengthen regional solidarity in Southeast Asia for truth, justice, and future without violence. So, without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Ngurah Termana and to deliver their presentation. And you have approximately 20 minutes, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Amira. Can you hear me clearly right now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. And thank you, Contrast, for the invitation. So, yes, I'll make a very simple, presentation. So I hope it can help everyone to understand what I would like to present today. So what I would like to share today is not only about unresolved past violence, but also how the Indonesian state successfully performs stability while preserving impunity. So, because in Indonesia, especially not only Indonesia and Bali, which is reflected where I live right now, Indonesia peace is often presented as a harmony, but harmony can be curated and silence can be institutionalized. So, next, please. Mira? Yeah. So, why this matters? So the past of the issue matters because, Indonesia officially, for me, acknowledged the past human rights violation, but yet consistently fails to resolve them. In Indonesia, the state often acknowledges that the violence happened, but consistently avoids addressing who was responsible for it. For example, there was in 2016, the government organized the National Symposium for 1965 genocide, where invited the survivor of 1965 violence and also the perpetrators. It was framed as a dialogue toward national reconciliation. However, this initiative explicitly avoided judicial accountability. The symposium did not lead to criminal investigation, prosecution, or establishment of human rights court. For the other example, we have Aksi Kamisan, for families of disappearing activists from 97 and 98, weekly demonstration stood in silent protest. I mean, not silent, but in peaceful protests held every Thursday in front of Presidential Palace in Jakarta. This action continued, I think, that now over more than 19 years, demanding the truth and justice. Despite the persistence, there has been no meaningful legal process about what's the disciplined activists in 97 and 98. The other cases, like Trisakti and Semanggi shootings, where there were many students shot, student deaths are officially commemorated, but no senior official have been held accountability. So the recognition exists, but primarily at the levels of symbol, ceremonies, and moral gesture. Victims are recognized symbolically, while perpetrators remain protected by the state. I think this is not a failure of memory alone, This is the failure that shapes democracy, law, and state power today. Next. Amira. Oh. So, transitional justice, I will not, sorry, can you hear me clearly? Because in here, your connection is unstable. Everyone can hear me still good? So, yeah, so I hope it's all good. So, I don't want to go too deep in this transitional justice framework because the other speaker will talk about this more deeper or clearer than me. But what I would like to say that Indonesia, this pillar exists normatively, but their implementation is fragmented and selective. This selectively is political structure rather than incidental. And its logics become clear when we examine the unresolved violence about 1965 and 66. Next, Amira. So 1965 and 66 is a long-term violence. 1965 and 66, well known mostly because of the mass killing. But as long as we know that the impact is went far beyond that. Like Amira's mentioned earlier, and also scholars estimate that for about 1 million people were killed. But at the same time, hundreds of thousands were imprisoned without trial, often for years and entirely outside any judicial process. The mass detention was followed by systemic loss of civil and political rights. The victims and their families were barred from public employment and placed under long-term surveillance through administrative regulation, not court ruling. And equally important is the long-term social stigma. Survivors and their family were labeled as politically dangerous. Up till now, we still know that in Indonesia, it is really prohibited to learn about all kind of leftist kind of knowledge, from Marxism, communism, and of course, it's affecting the access of education. And, you know, for the victims, also affected the social mobility for the kids. This stigma was transmitted across generation. From transitional justice perspective, this period represents a comprehensive collapse of all four pillars. You know, the truth was denied, the justice was absent, reparations were never provided, and no meaningful institutional reform allowed. As a result, I think the genocide of 65, which is started in October of 65, not only ended in 1966, but it became embedded in everyday life and state institution for generation. Next. (1965) is a systematic. 1965 violence in Indonesia was not spontaneous. It was highly systematic. The state deployed coordinated propaganda through media to label certain groups of threats. Military command structures ensured the killing and arrests were organized rather than random things. Civilians were mobilized to monitor and report neighbors, turning communities into instrument of repressions, and also long-term surveillance through blacklists identified those who are alleged with communists, enabling targets action over months. For example, the victim of 65 genocide or the survivor, 4 years they have special identity card with ET on it. ET means ex-Tapol or ex-political prisoners. We discriminate and put them in social stigma for decades. Historians, for example, like John Rosa in his book Protect from Mass Murder, or Benedict Anderson in Spectre of Comparison, emphasized that this was a transformation of violence into administration. Killings, detention, and social exclusion were executed with a bureaucratic precision. In short, the events were planned, structured, and meticulously coordinated, not the result of spontaneous uprising. Next. Amira. Not only the CSO or the historian state evidence, in 2012, the Indonesian Human Rights Commission concluded that 1965 events amounted as a crime against humanity. This assessment was based on the law number 26 of 2000 on human rights court, which defines certain grave violations such as genocide, crime against humanity, and war crimes. Punishable offenses were under Indonesian law. So in this case, legally, the state already has the evidence. Next. Next, Amira. So, no, I think before this one. Okay. So after Human Rights Commission submitted the investigation to Attorney General repeatedly returned the report. Officially, they call it administrative incompleteness. So this was not a legal issue, but I think this is institutional veto, where the prosecutor office systematically used administrative reason to block the substantive legal action, effectively preventing accountability of crimes against humanity that already documented by Komnas HAM. Next. But this pattern is not unique to only case of genocide 1965. We can see it again in enforced disappearance of activists in 97 and 98, Trisakti and Semanggi shootings, Talangsari and Orifon in Papua. Different areas, but same outcome, no accountability. Next. Here we can see that impunity is sustained by institution. We can see previously that Attorney General acts as a political gatekeeper. And at the same time, the other state institution reinforce this impunity, like police and military authorities frequently threat gross violation as ordinary crimes or handle them with internal military procedures with, of course, as you know, lack of transparency and accountability. While in many cases, senior military officials and political leaders protect institutional interests and shield themselves from investigation. Civil society and rights groups have documented many military or police personnel implicated in those abuses today that SOSAD often promoted or keep them in their position. So keep them out also from facing justice. So, and also this one reflecting a broader pattern that where powerful security institutions act to prevent substantive legal accountability, not because of legal barriers, but because of rooted of political and institutional interests. Next. Recently, impunity also reproduced through the official history. State-sponsored projects that often minimize the violence, exclude key cases, and marginalize victims' narratives, and creating national memory where abuses exist without accountability. For example, a recent example that a new government commission, history books, overseen by our Minister of Culture, Fadlison, argued downplay the 1965 and 66 killings and other abuses, framing that Indonesian past in a way that emphasized national pride while sidelining the victim's narrative. Such a selective narrative reinforced impunity, of course, by erasing state responsibility from collective public memory. This is just what happened recently, I think last year. Next. From those national things, I would like to go right now in Bali, because this is also will give the complexity of how that we face the transitional justice in Indonesia. I think all of you know that Bali, well known as, cultural and touristic space or areas, Bali paradise, Bali beautiful, Bali is full of smile, culturally is very unique. But honestly, in Bali, experienced one of the highest proportional death rates during 96 and 95 and 96 genocide, with estimated around 80,000 Balinese were killed, for about 5% to 8% of the island population at the time, making it like proportionally one of the deadliest regions in Indonesia. Historians such as like Robert Cribb highlight that these killings were widespread, systematic, and deeply embedded in local communities, showing that how states and militia, which is famous as Tameng, coordination escalated violence in the village and the district level. The killings often occurred within families, as army-backed militias went to house, from one house to the other house, targeting anyone accused of being communist or sympathizer, man, woman, and even in some villages, children were executed. Sometimes following by local dispute or personal rivalries. Yeah. While their homes were burned and entire communities terrorized. Despite of this scale of brutality, public discussion of Bali's 96, 95, and 96 experience remain extremely limited. I mean, if we can say the island trauma largely absent for the national narrative. Next. What makes Bali then silent from this or transitional justice threat? Because in Bali, justice is concerned by tourism politics, Tourism industry needs harmony, harmony, peace. So harmony has to prioritize to protect the image. Any stories about violence which cause Balinese as a perpetrators framed as a destructive. So since, Bali has experienced the violence not only 65, there were bomb blasts in Bali in 2002 and 2005. And there are also war puputan against colonial from 1906. But those kind of story were become a public consumption and also spread out through the history of state. Why? Because in that case, the perpetrators is not Balinese. While 65, 66, the perpetrators is Balinese. In this case, to provide the harmony as a foundation of tourism, that's why the 65 and 66 genocides should be silent. Bali should be economically stable and also so then the stability should be valued over accountability. So silence of 65 becomes a form of economic policy to protect Bali, to protect the economic tourism, to stay stable, so in order that people still come for the tourism. So in that sense, the tourism is one tool to protect how then the truth of 65 came to become a public discourse. And at the same time, stop Balinese to become critical, even critical and talk about the truth even for the death of their own families. In this case, transitional justice threat in Bali, Balinese people are framed as a cultural beings, not a political subjects. Justice seeking in Bali seen as an un-Balinese kind of behavior. As a result, accountability culturally managed and politically deferred. Next. I think before this. Oh, next, sorry. What we see then in Bali is not an exception. It is a model, I think. Justice is culturally managed. Accountability is deferred, and silence is reframed as a harmony. At the national level, the same logic allows perpetrators to be honored, victims to be mobilized, and responsibility to disappear from public memory. Last year, the state honors are normalized impunity by separating recognition from accountability. Indonesia has granted a national hero status for Suharto, the dictator that have 32 years run Indonesia in the New Order regime. He's responsible for 1965 and 66 killing. So, and also many violence happens during the New Order regime, including what happened in 97, 98, what happened violence Papua, Aceh, and all part of Indonesia. It is show that perpetrators can be publicly honored. Meanwhile, at the same time, Marsina, a labor activist who were killed in 1993 during the dictatorship regime of Suharto, is also remembered symbolically. She was brought also as a national hero. But ironically, her killers, the perpetrators, were never brought to justice. These examples reveal that a system where the state commemorates history without enforcing responsibility, allowing past abuses to be sanitized in national memory and national history. Next. So I think this is my last slide, that Indonesians' failure to deliver transitional justice is not a mistake. It is a politically by choice. The violence of 1966 and 65 was systematically project of killing, mass detention, and destruction of political rights. Its purpose was not only to eliminate people, but produce fear and silence that would last for generations. And it worked. The state already known this, its community. The law exists, the evidence exists. What is missing then? Political will. Instead of justice, the state offers ceremonies. Instead of accountability, it offers fake dialogue. Victims are acknowledged, but only as a symbol, never has a right as a bearing citizen. What we see as a peace right now in Indonesia is often carefully curated. Peace is postcarded. It offers stability without accountability, harmony without responsibility, and memory without truth. Official history erases responsibility in the name of order. But I think all of us know silence is not a peace. Harmony without justice is not reconciliation. And stability without truth is not democracy. Without truth and justice, stability is not a peace. It's a system that preserving impunity. So I think that's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ngurah pertama. Murah Termana, for your speech. And during your speech, we learned about how the past violations are acknowledged but never resolved, and how was the 1965 until 1966 long-term violence, especially in Bali, and how it affect the impunity of today. And since Fred is not ready enough, do you mind if Sam is next?
First. So I listen to what Sam has said, then I listen, then I continue.
Okay, sure.
You hear me? You hear my voice?
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
I
mind.
can hear you.
I'll be the last. I'll be the last speaker, okay?
Oh, so after Sam and then Kanya and then you?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yes. That's right.
Okay.
Can you
Are
hear
you
me
okay
clearly?
with that?
Can you hear me exactly what I'm saying?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, now continue, please.
Okay, sure. Maybe Sam will continue with how the campaign and monitoring mechanism by civil society organization in promoting transitional justice in Taiwan. So Sam, the floor is yours.
Okay, I just want to share my slides. Wait a minute. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone's see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I just start. Okay. Oh, hi everyone. I'm Sam, and first, huge thanks to Amira for having me today. And I want to share how Gongsheng, as a youth-led NGO, navigates the gap between the state and society in Taiwan's transitional justice process, especially when institutional justice feels distant to younger generation. Okay, the title of my talk is "None of Us Heard the Gunshots of 228, Yet Our Ears Are Ringing." This is actually a line I wrote for our commemoration to describe how historical trauma continues to resonate within us. And the tie, okay, everyone see that? The tie I wear today belongs to Tai Kunlin, and he is also Fred's friend. Yes, and Tai Kunlin is a survivor of the White Terror. I think wearing it is a reminder to me that politics is not just a concept. It is something lived and something that exists in our daily life. Okay. Okay, so I just next. Oh, sorry. Next. 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 Introduction. I just want to skip myself my introduction. Just I'm a student in master's degree. Okay, and I have joined Gongsheng since 2021. Okay. First, I want to talk about the problem. And so in Taiwan, the 228 incident is the cornerstone of our national trauma. It involved massacres, the disappearance of elites, and state violence that divide our society for decades. And today is in our textbook, and it's a National Memorial Day today. Okay, so averagely, every Taiwanese knows 228 incidents. Okay, but however, nearly 80 years have passed. We faced a unique challenge. How do we keep people feeling the significance of this event? Many young people know the incident, but they don't have any feelings about it. And many young people today were born into prosperity and democracy, and authoritarian rule feels like a chapter in the textbook, not a reality. Even though it was their parents' generation and lived it through. So consequently, 228 is seen as just a day off. Some shops even says use celebrate 228 as a marketing slogan. Sounds incredible. It's okay, but actually, this is not a story of. This is the story of how our country become what it is today. And as an NGO, we ask ourselves, how do we create an accessible way for youth to engage? Because maybe for most of the people, they know the incident, but they don't have any feelings. So let's talk about a solution. Our organization explores memory and justice in a way that's more openly. And our main event, 共生 Music Commemoration, 共生音乐节, consists of several layers to satisfy both heart and my mind. Okay, so the event includes 4 layers, includes angel market, the human library, the exhibition, and the main stage for music and short talks. Okay, the first one is the angel market. Maybe Fred have attended this angel market. We will invite over 30 NGOs focusing on gender, indigenous issues, or labor rights. We just want to show that all human rights issues are connected with each other. Okay, and you can see the picture on the right. The angels are talking the issues they care about to the audience. And next is the human library. What is human library? Human library is we will invite scholars or the families of the victims or creators or anyone have relation with this incidents will invite it to this human library. Okay, so those scholars or victims' family will share their stories face to face. Okay, so you can see he is the director of the film, and many of people want to know what happened during the film making. The next one is the exhibition. Exhibition, for most people, they want to visit the exhibition for the intellectual depth, and they want to know more about the historical facts. They will attend this exhibition. And the last but not least is the main stage. You can see the main stage have many bands and music performance on the stage, but the vibes, the atmosphere is not happy or something. It was more like we are memorizing it, and we have more power through remembering it. So for this main stage is for the emotional expression and more inspiration, and the people under the stage have the chance to express their emotion. Okay, so as you can see in the slides, one side of the park is the stage for the music performance, and the other side is the exhibition for knowledge, and in the middle is the NGO market. So we want to bridge the gap from emotion and knowledge. So if you went to the commemoration, you can have different experiences in this event. Okay, so we have several strategies. The first one is making it personal. What it means? I have curated the exhibition for 4 years, and we always ask, what angle can we use to help our audience relate to the history? Because almost everyone know the what happened in this incident, but they just don't have feelings. So last year we focused on the diversity of victims, especially on the victims. They weren't just names. They were women, they were fighters, they were soldiers, or just nobody. They just civilians or victims. And we create a message era. You can see the picture on the left side. This is the message era. Message era. There is a question above, is asking which victims do you know? But that's not a test. It was to make people realize we often only remember the famous ones, while the reality was much more complex. Okay, so you can see the notes paper on the wall, and there's many answers, but almost every answer is Chen Chenbo is a painter from Taiwan, and that's most famous victims in 228 incidents. Okay, so we also use universal design. What is universal design? It include like picture books for kids, English guides for international visitors, and sign language interpreters for accessibility. Wait a minute. Okay, you can see in the human library, there is an interpreter stands behind the lectures. So everyone, especially those was physically challenged, can also visit the exhibition. And we even in this part, I want to share a short story. Okay, I'll never forget an elderly man who came to our booth, and he told me in Taiwanese that he couldn't read. He cannot read the words because he don't have any chance to get in school. So he just want to stay before to look at our pictures, and he just look for the pictures for a long time. And he said, I can write, but I just want to see the picture because this is so important to me. And I think that's the goal, creating a space where a 7-year-old who can read and a 20-year-old student both feel their history matters. Okay, so the next one the next one is a dark room. What is a dark room? We built the dark room where you had to use the flashlight. You can see the picture on the bottom right. When the audience go into the exhibition, the dark room, they have to use the flashlight to read the stories on the paper. And this is making the audience feel like they were personally searching for a hidden truth in the shadows. So it's more like you can get to the knowledge by yourself. And accessibility is not simplifying history. It's about expanding who is allowed to enter it. And the next strategy is creating an excuse. Yes. So how do we get people to show up? Because this is kind of a deep and difficult issue in Taiwan society. And every year we have over 100 people will come to our event in 228 in every February 28th. So how can we get so many people to show up? And every year, I call the strategy as creating an excuse. In Taiwan, indie music is rebellious. We invite artists like Zheng Yinong. She is an icon for young people, and she had made so many songs about white terror era. And when her fans just sing with her, they don't feel like they are taking history class. They are feeling like are a part of the movement. And we can see the picture of Zheng Yinong. And Zheng Zheng, when Zheng was performing, everyone was listening to her and feel like they were part of it. This is the picture of her was singing on the stage. And the next one was Nymphia Wind. Do anyone knows Nymphia Wind? Nymphia Wind is the champion of RuPaul's Drag Race, a famous American show for drag race. Okay, and drag queen was a unique culture worldwide, and especially for LGBTIA groups. And Nymphia Wind, as a Taiwanese, has won the RuPaul's Drag Race, and we invite her to support our crowdfunding. And people might think, wait, why is a world famous drag queen talking about 228? They might think it's weird, okay? But our message is quite simple, actually. Our message is not only politicians can talk about politics. Drag queens, rock stars, and students, we are all on this history together. So not only who really related to this 228 incident, but everyone in the society can talk about and remember it. So after saying all of this, maybe everyone was curious about how effective of this event, how effective have this actually been? Does it work? Well, our data says yes. According to our 2025 survey, 1,800 of our participants are aged 18 to 35. And 63% of the participants are women. I think this is a phenomenon that we can think more about it. Okay, so and the last one is crucially the motivation of the participants is visit the exhibition and NGO booths was actually higher than seeing the bands. Quite weird, right? But because as the staff, we think the bands will be a motivation for everyone. But actually, through the survey, visiting the exhibition and NGO was higher and draw more attention than the bands. So people was hungry for the meanings. Young people, they are not indifferent. They just need a better way to assess the conversation. Okay, so I want to make a conclusion with one last story. And every year at the end of the event, the staff will stand on stage to say thank you. And it's dark, so I can see any audience face, but I feel the incredible energy from it. And last year, a senior from my school ran up to me afterwards. He tapped my shoulder and said, Sam, my family member also died in 228, and thank you for doing this. We had been in the same school for years, and we never talked about it. And because of this commemoration, we have the chance to talk about it, and he finally felt he can own his own story. And I want to clarify this issue, history, human rights, different social struggles, they are not naturally in conflict with each other. They are different. Yes, they are different. But difference does not mean opposition. Coexistence is possible, and that's exactly 共生 our name stands for. Thank you so much. And if you like to follow our work, to reach out or to reach to me directly, here are some infos. So you can contact me with our information. And I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation with you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, for sharing. Yay! And yes, we already learned about how Gongsheng held an event for 228 incident or massacre, and how they make it personal about the message area, and then they also make children books. They have dark room and try to have universal value, and how it's very meaningful personally for Sam. And I think Gongseng is also very interesting because all of its members are very young and mostly is around born into 2000, right? 2000 or
Yes, I was
younger.
born in 2001.
Yes. Yes, it's very interesting indeed. Maybe next Kania can share about how the campaign in Indonesia and Asia. The floor is yours.
Okay, I thought I'm gonna be the last one, but okay. Hello guys. How are you? I hope you guys are all good in the gloomy weather in here in Indonesia, but I also hear that Taiwan also in the winter now. So yeah, today a little bit of disclaimer. I'm not really a master of regional transitional justice context. I really appreciate my fellow friends from Ajar, specifically the regional team, to support me to talk today. So yeah, today we're going to a little bit seeing transitional justice in Asia. Ooh, such a big continent, yeah. And then the most important is the CSO, civil society organization, role, and also in the situation of challenging impunity, because transitional justice happen is all because impunity. So I'm gonna start to talking a little bit about Ajar. So Ajar, or Asia Justice and Rights, we actually NGO who focus on build cultures based on accountability and justice. And we have our base in Jakarta in Indonesia, but we actually also have a lot of offices in Timor Leste, in Bangladesh, in Thailand as well. So what we do is actually combating impunity and build strong mechanism to achieve accountability, respect victims as a core centered of our work. But in our work, in Ajar work, we believe that inability to understand impunity is the reason that atrocities is still happening. So I really enjoy what Sam doing, presenting that really interesting, because uh, um, what the youth now is trying to find the meaning, like you said, yeah. But then we realize that meaning, it can be catch if we understand what is actually happening right now. And for us in Ajar, impunity is actually the root causes of of what happened in Asia. So what is impunity? Let's talk about impunity a little bit. So I make this title, break up with this impunity. I'm bored because of God, I'm so bored of this structural impunity that we see in the surface in our daily life right now. Maybe it's also similar in Taiwan, in Indonesia as well, that we see that state criminalization, repression is actually we see as a iceberg. So this is like an iceberg. We now, specifically in Indonesia, we actually know that state is really become really showing their power through the people, because for Indonesia context we now live in the authoritarianism. Thank you, Prabowo, we love you. No, of course not. So in the usual way we know that the state atrocities or state operation is actually in the surface. The criminalization of activists, of frontliners, or the frontliners is the tangible is a tangible case of impunity. But then we also know that impunity has a impact, like what Ngurah Termana said before, that what happened in 1965 is actually have a cultural impact. So we also know that impunity is also have impact in the intangible way, in the, or we can say in the cultural way. So it who is the actor is actually the public. They doing manipulator, they become an enabler, they also become a silencing of the truth, or also have the conflict interest. So we can see that this is the impunity that we understand before, that there's a tangible impunity but intangible impunity. But then for now the iceberg is there. I mean, we can see all in media, in social media, that we cannot divide which one is actually a structural one or the cultural one of the impunity. Because what? It's also because of the facilitated by the media. In the social media, there's a lot of information inequality, economy inequality, gender and racism, and of course the public anger. So for now, the position in impunity is actually there. Like now we can see that a lot of we in Indonesia we also talk about femicida, like the way that women being killed because they're a woman. So it's actually happened there, and media talking a lot about there. So this is what happened for now. What Ajar look for now about the impunity. Oh, by the way, this is also inspired by the Johan Galtung theory about cultural violence and also the structural violence. But then we also see that it's not a cycle, but it's actually like intertwined, the structural one and the cultural one. So that's the theoretical things, but actually, what is actually happened in Indonesia? What is impunity in Asia actually? So in Indonesia, we know in Ajar we see that never new order that never ended. So we never be in reformations because for now we like Ngurah Termana said that Suharto become the hero for Indonesia most citizen, and we see that democracy is a space of consultation, that includes who have money, big money, so they can win. So there are no people power, and there are, because of the perfect impunity. So this is a really backlash for us. I'm still processing what happened actually, because it's really hurt myself, even though I'm not a victim. So you can imagine how the victim and survivors family seeing or feeling that the Suharto become the hero in Indonesia. Also, lack of bureaucracy and corruption as well. It's the oil for impunity still going in Indonesia. Meanwhile, in Timor Leste, as a new nation, they still building the nations. But then uh, there are still a lot of problem need to figure out, like the stolen children of Timor Leste. There's a lot of children that separate when the Indonesia invasion back then, 1975 until 1999, and also they also struggle with the reparation for victims and survivors after the conflict, because most of the program or the reparation program to heal or peace building program in Timor Leste is not really touching the victims or survivors group. Meanwhile, as we know, in Myanmar, the junta militer now ruling the country, and also we also know that historically they have the ethnic conflict, and it means that shrinking civic space still happening there. And also in Bangladesh, we know that situation of the refugees in Cox's Bazar camp, that we know that Myanmar context is really a focus in our region, specifically in ASEAN, but also a little bit about Bangladesh. And it's also and we also know in the August, like the wave of protest is also happen in Bangladesh. So yeah, like Mura Termana said before, that TJ is actually a tool can assist in developing and implementing effective strategy to deal with a history and mass violation. That's the theory, yeah, from UN. But I want to little bit talk about this. Like we know in the theoretical there are four pillars of transitional justice. The first is right to truth, the establishing of truthful account of mass human rights violation, and then the other one is right to justice, is holding those responsibility for mass crimes accountable through judicial proceeding. And also right to reparation, repairing the lives of victims and their families through symbolic and material measurements. And also the last is guarantee of non-repetition, reforming various institutions to guarantee that the mass violation of the rights of individuals and communities would never occur. But actually, this is not a step-by-step, guys. So it's not like step one, we need to go do it the right to truth. No, but this is the holistic and sequence approaches that also in order the contextually appropriate and sensitive to gender inequalities while strengthening transformative social movement. So this is like so this is like a village to develop or making justice and reparation and all the holistic things that a country need to have. So we know that many Asian countries has faced a history of mass human rights violation. We just heard from Sam about the intergenerational learning, but then paired with the weak mechanism for the judicial accountability. In response, both judicial and non-judicial mechanism have been established in several countries during period of transition. We can see, I will share later about the which country that is actually doing the TJ processes. So mechanism are part of the TJ approach, systematically or massive violation of human rights that both provide redress victims and creates enhanced opportunities for transformation or political system. So actually TJ is need to be also a collaborative processes between the state and also the victims. So you want to if you want to read more, you can go slide to Ajar website and looking at this research about victims agency in the face of the impunity. So this is like Indonesia experience to see the positioning of the victims in the transitional justice that is actually Indonesia do. So yeah, this is the things that apa namanya what Asia country do in terms of the transitional justice mechanism. So for the truth commissions in Timor-Leste, they have CAVR, Commission for Reception, Truth and Reconciliation. Even in Thailand, they have Truth Authority, TRC as well, Truth Reconciliation Commissions. In Philippines, they also Transitional Justice and Reconciliation Commissions. In Indonesia, we have Aceh TRC. They also have in Sri Lanka also have Office of Missing Person, South Korea, and also Nepal to talk about the even for the judicial one, the tribunal, they also serious crime unit in Timor-Leste, and also the ECCC in Cambodia, extraordinary chamber in the court of Cambodia. And also in Indonesia, we have ad hoc human rights court, but there's a lot of critics and also result about that not really enjoyed by the survivors community. And also in Bangladesh, they also have a national human rights court. For reparation in Philippines, they also have a victims claim board. And in Sri Lanka, they have Office of Reparation, and in institutional reform, they have like several actions when the Aceh conflict happened, like the disarm, demobilization, and reintegration in Indonesia. So what is actually the challenge for the TJ in Indonesia? So we know that on the paper, we maybe like for Indonesia, we maybe have a lot of a law, or we have a lot of advocacy for that. But then we also see that a lot of key challenges and trends that for the first is the non-independent or politicized judicial systems, and also limited or lack of national human rights mechanism. Another thing is government failed to implement the recommendation of National Human Rights Commission or institution or truth commissions, and victims or survivor of human rights violation were not fully protected while perpetrators back in the power. We also see that lack of human rights international standard setting in the region. We know that in Asia, ASEAN, we have ICHR, but we know as well that they don't really have a significant work to working in the human rights context, and also unable and unwilling to proceed the past abuses. So this is like a pattern that we Ajar see as a key challenge and the trends. So what is actually Ajar doing is we we have this approaches called unlearning impunity. So like what I said at the beginning, that if you want to have the imagination about world without impunity, or future for accountability, we need to unlearn, we need to unpack what is actually impunity is. What is the impact, what is the yeah, what is the impact, even personally, or communities level, or even in the family level, in the cultural level. So this is what Ajar approach about that. So in Ajar believe that local initiative is the heart of the movement. So for along the way, for I think for more than a decade, Ajar developed a community learning center, like where we make a collaborative learning through survivors, through youth, and also the Ajar partners, like Taman 65 it's also part of the Ajar partners, to actually decolonialization of the knowledge, that we believe if the victims or survivor are the center of the knowledge, we need to see that the truth is actually there with the community. So we build the circle of learning from the youth, and also Ajar make facilitation tools, facilitation processes, to understanding the 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 impunity itself, because we've been tired, and we not really believe in what state do, right? Like, we know, how can we believe, like in Indonesia context, how can we believe that Indonesia government right now, who the president have records, and then also how can we believe that they will give us the narrative about what happened in the, like, for the example, for 1965, if they're part of the perpetrators. So we need to be decolonizing our knowledge as part of our positioning as our movement. So this is like a political position of the survivors, and also the civil society, and specifically for the youth. So this is also actually using the transitional justice framework to work, because we cannot see truth if we not really hear the survivors. We cannot imagine the justice system if we didn't hear the survivors what they want. And we cannot have the intergenerational learning if we're not collaborative with the youth, or the second or the third generation in the survivors family. So this is what the heart what Ajar do. So for us, learning process is opportunity. So maybe it's also quite similar what Sam doing in terms of the intergenerational learning. We know that sometimes youth, it's really have a token, yeah, like, so this is your role as the youth to continue our movement. But for my opinion, it's objecting the youth that they need to uh, continuing the movement. But for me, we can have a different point of view, that youth can be a transformation agent, not an object, but a subject. Like Sam said before, that youth need a meaning. So we need to give them option of the meaning. Then what we doing? We ask youth to collaborative learning with the survivors, because the victims or the survivors, because the knowledge is in there, strengthening the survivors learning circles and focusing on access to justice and social services. So it's like a make support and working together as a critical allies of the victims. And then we need also, because we see that the cultural impunity also happen in our context in our daily life, and who is the actor is a public. So we need to also collaborate with the public. We need to develop a strategy to engage the public and local officials to actually make connecting, because we believe the interpersonal relation is actually the heart of the human rights itself. So maybe in the terms of the state or the state responsibility, we see like very negative way, because a lot of them is not really working out. But then there's a innovation pushing for the local processes, and from the sidelines of overseas, like in Aceh we have a Truth and Reconciliation Commissions, a local one, and also in Mindanao. Why it's really important? Because we can see the blind side that can work for the survivors community. I think the local processes is really important. The local processes, the local initiative, like what Taman 65 doing, is a really important transformative initiative that we need to be pushed. That we never know if someday somehow, maybe I don't know when, that Bali is also have like a like Truth and Reconciliation Commission specifically talking about 1965 in Bali. We never know about that, because I think the most important thing is to have imaginations about accountability through and transitional justice as using as a structure or the framework to doing that. So yeah, I think the local is the important way. So Ajar also making a network of accountability. We believe in South to South learning. We believe that conflict is a really complex situation, and talking about conflict is also talking about the local context. Context is really important, and the way to working out with conflict is also need to be understanding the local context. So we believe that South to South learning is part of the way to have a learning. We have a Transitional Justice Asia Network. It's an Asian regional hub, transitional justice expert, which aim to facilitate learning and knowledge building on transitional justice and accountability initiative across the region. This is the place that people all over Asia who work in transitional justice can share their innovations and hopes together. Because if we believe in the system thinking or system problem, we believe that Asia is connected. uh, it's very connected because we are in the same continent, right? So learning together and understanding the different contexts is really important, and sharing knowledge and so resources is really important to still working in the transitional justice network. Another initiative, CSO initiative for accountability. It's maybe you guys know about Milti Alliance. So this is a alliance for support the Myanmar, our fellows in Myanmar. So Milk Tea Alliance is because ASEAN people really like the boba milk tea. I think Taiwan also like boba, yeah. But then maybe you guys can be our alliance, Milk Tea Alliance. So this one, this photo is actually bike for Myanmar. Many Indonesia really like cycling. So we have like a peace movement, peace protests, peace solidarity, using the bicycle to going to the streets. We also work in the EU and ASEAN CSO forum, and as well as ASEAN people forums, who actually being one of the annually meeting for all ASEAN people, ASEAN CSO who work in the human rights or any other issues, there to actually looking at the what is the idea, or what is the future about ASEAN, and also siblings, Southeast Asia's blinks, like siblings. This is happening when in August, like last year, 2025, when the big the massive protests happen in Indonesia, and the all over ASEAN, like Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, they supporting the Grab by the online taxi bike, supporting them to give the food to support the protest. So we can see that a lot of initiative that we see that, even though the state is lack of capability to ensure that the transitional justice happen in their in each country context, but then we as a civil society organization is actually more creative, because we still believe that people power that connect can make a transformation in our region. So we also but also in ASEAN context, in Southeast Asia context, we also rethinking about ASEAN non-interference and consensus principle, because we know that in the state level, that people still no, I mean the government still, they really it's very political, like they don't really very diplomatic, but then after, like for the example, talking about the Myanmar things, that we know that there's a lot of human rights violation there, many of our friends being kidnapped, and also the conflict there, and genocide of the Rohingya, but then ASEAN cannot do anything because there are no interference and consensus principle. So we need to rethinking the ASEAN to have a strong positioning and strong point in terms of human rights. So this is this is like my reflections for these sessions, like how we can sweep the political will in the Asia country regarding the regarding to accountability in our region, because like Termana said, that the lack of accountability or the impunity is still happen because there are no political will from the government. But if we see in the civil society context, we done a lot. We really done a lot. But then the power struggle is there about the politics. So we need to figure out how can we shift the political will in the Asia, specifically in Indonesia, regarding to accountability in our region. I know in Indonesia right now, we see that, oh my God, it's really difficult because this is a Prabowo rule. But then maybe we not see the blind side yet. The innovations, like what can we do? Maybe it's not the bigger one. Maybe it's us the the little steps, the baby steps again after 26. But it's okay, right? We've been do new order, but also I've been also thinking, is the movement sustained? Like, I know our former activists became together in this regime. Like our mentor being in the system, in the country, but then also so how we can sustain the movement. And then after this is also what we think, like, to sustaining the movement, we need to see movement as an ecosystem, like we understanding the role. Like, for the example, Ajar knowing our positioning, we cannot be like contrast, like in being a frontliner talking about Fadli zone every single day and naming and shaming Indonesia and everything. But then Ajar really know that, okay, contrast, we support you, we 100 support you. If you want to ask Ajar to become one of the allies, let's go, let's do it, because we cannot do that. Because what we Ajar believe in we can facilitating the local initiative. Like, for the example, like Taman 65, um like what Termanas do in the Taman 65, we realize it's very, maybe like very small scale in Bali, in the island of gods. But then Bali also have like a lot of problem, but then they still talking about the root causes of the oppression, like 1965. It's very small, but then it's very strong positioning. So we think that we need to showing Taman 65 with the other with the other initiative, because Indonesia is very big, Asia is very big, and uh, our state or the perpetrators didn't want to have they don't want us to be connected. So we need to believe that we need to have a movements ecosystem. So maybe in Indonesia we have like this, we like this session. For me, I really know that, in Taiwan there's a Sam and the other gang working for that. And we also thinking to sustaining the movement, we need also looking at politics of care. What is politics of care actually? It's like, after we understanding the after we understanding the, okay, this is the last point, yeah, sorry Amira. After we understanding our role, the politics of care is actually the things that we need to caring ourselves, we need to caring our friends, there's an act of caring, like simple things that make everything happen, or make everything sustain. Like, for the example, to look at yourself, okay, maybe this is too much, to have a break for a little bit, or maybe checking on your friends. So this is like it's like the so this is like a solidarity that is not jargonistic. So it's like an act of solidarity. Like, we can checking on our friends about the revolution that they make, about the movement. It's also looking at the very domestic way and celebrating the little things that actually been and also seeing a movement is not only about the victory, but it's seeing the movement as a resilience of ourselves to be still a human. So yeah, I think this is my last point, that can share about the movement and specifically CSO in a accountability situations. So yeah, thank you guys for the
Thank you, Kania, for the presentation. That's really wonderful how Agile work on pushing for the impunity to stop and how they recognize that impunity is the root cause, and also how you have innovation to push for a cult process. Maybe our last speaker will share about the how transitional justice shape current perspective in Taiwan, as Red Chin is also the victim of the white terror in the past. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you for offering the opportunity to speak to other people. I learned a lot from the three other speakers. I'm just trying to use my own story because I am the only victim. I'm all day. I hope through my story you can learn something what we are doing today in Taiwan. How we try to organize, how we try to settle the problems that still around in the Taiwan societies, in Taiwan communities. So myself, as what you have, Amira has said that I was a political prisoner in the year of 1970s. I was born in Malaysia. I came from Malaysia in the year 1967. And luckily, in the year 1969, Malaysia has the same situation. The tragedies that happened in Malaysia as well. But I escaped that. I came to Taiwan, but unfortunately, I was targeted for doing nothing wrong. I was put to jail for 12 long years after a long time of tortures by the KMT government. But today, why I wanted to share my story so frequently, just because I want our young generations of Taiwan to learn what happened from 1949 until 1987, so that they can learn the lessons of the KMT under the totalitarian control of the government, using the systematic, the state machines to torture its people, to consolidate its power. That's wrong to do according to human rights. So that's the reason why today I'm trying to promote the human rights through my life story. Today I can see the changes after 15 years of sharing my story in the National Human Rights Museum, including a lot of narratives in the high school, in the universities. I met so many foreigners coming from different countries. There are delegations from different countries. I learned a lot from them as well. Today, Taiwan is going on quite okay, but it's not enough. Taiwan still has a long, long way to go according to transitional justice. To me, I don't like this word, transitional justice. Tell me, what is justice? Can anyone exactly what is justice? To different people, they have different explanation. What I would like to do, I have the former presidents of the South Africa, Elbisach. We talk about transitional justice, but to tell you, I like the words that South Africa and other parts of the world are doing. They use the so-called truth and reconciliations. That's the main point. What is the truth? Today, we try our best as a political survivors. We try to ask our government to tell us at that time why so many people suffer. Why so many people have been targeted for doing nothing wrong? According to me, from 1949 until 1987, during the white period, around 14,000 people suffer. And not as much as 2 years in Indonesia, a million people suffer. Only 14,000. But within the 14,000, 2,000, almost 2,000 were executed for doing nothing wrong. I am the most innocent one. I do not know what happened today. I still couldn't find the reason from all the archive office, from all the documents. I couldn't find the reason why I was targeted, why I was put into jail. You know that You know very well that I was arrested because of the USIS office explosion case. But I was punished not because of that. I was turned into to become a political, what is this, a traitors to the ROC government. I politically suffer. During that time is the hardest time for me when I learned that I was indicted under the death penalty. The possibility of being sentenced to death is 80%. I couldn't remember, I couldn't forget that time waiting for my family, how I managed to pass through my time. But today, what I am was not because of this. I tried my best to change my mindset to face what to me in the past. I would like to use the most optimistic and most positive way to face the past and to face the current situation when I come across any hindrance or any calamities that lie across in front of me. That's the reason why I'm doing this. I'm doing this not because of myself. I ask the government, what kind of truth can you tell me under the transitional justice? What is truth? Can you tell me? No one can answer this question. The truth is not because of us, personal or the sufferings. We knew better than others. What the truth is, I'm looking forward was that during that time, under the totalitarian control of the KMT government, why they wanted to use such a way to treat the kind people in Taiwan? Why creating so many chaos, creating so many troubles and so many unforgivable errors? The reason why I hope that through justice, the government should learn SOP that in the future, no one, no matter how, no matter who he is, should use the same way to treat the population to consolidate its own power. That's the reason why that means that it is never again is the only words that we wanted to criticize, to strengthen it, so that people can learn it, so the Taiwanese people can enjoy the peace, no matter who is controlling the government. This is what I am doing. What I'm doing today. I hope Indonesia, while we will not never recommend any one of those NGO people to use forces or violence to their targets. We will use a very good way, continue to give to supply the victims, so that the government learned from those victims that they sacrifice the time, sacrifice the future, sacrifice their life to bring a country to prosperity. This is what the government should do. But today, Taiwan is going on not satisfactory, but acceptable. But today, Taiwan is still facing a lot of problems in our country itself, not in the community, but in the government. You can see that today, a lot of things happen. We can't accept that. We cannot foresee any peaceful solution under the control of the KMT. The reason why today Taiwan cannot completely the so-called justice is because of the countries. According to the president, the former president of South Africa told me that never be successful under the current situations of the government systems. So today, I'm not going to tell you anything. I just face that what you are going to face in tomorrow. I have no theories to tell you. I have no I cannot tell you anything you can do, but continue to do whatever you wanted to under a very, very rational way instead of pushing the government into forces to push you back. This is the only way we can do. This is the only way that I am trying to tell the government. We need a lot of support from overseas. Today, Taiwan is facing a lot of problems on the other side of the country. We are not going to violate any rules or provocate any things to start the war. I still remember in 2022, when Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of American Congress, came to Taiwan, I had the opportunity to speak to her. I told her very firmly that Taiwan needs a voice to support instead of our defensive power, but we are not looking for another Ukraine. The people in Ukraine sacrificing their life. What? I do not understand. This is human rights. This is humanity. But you can see that today, every part of the world, human rights is going down. The respect of human rights is going down instead of going up. But we are not dissatisfied by all this. We are going to struggle and struggle and struggle until we can see the human rights being respected by every single person. So every country, that no wars or no brutality should happen in any parts of the world. This is what I'm trying to do at my age. I'm the eldest one. I'm the older one. I'm 78 now. How long could I see? But I tell myself that I would continue until my last breath. I met so many political prisoners in Taiwan since 2011 when the National Human Rights Museum Preparatory Office started. I'd be there. I was there trying to help to set it up because I thought that it is a proper situation, a proper location for to stand in front of the public to share our story, reckon past, to forget the past, not to forgive those perpetrators instead of using the hatred to face the past or to confront the so-called perpetrators. We need not do that. As a human being, we should use a softer way, a better way to treat others so that we can come to a certain kind of conclusion and understand each other. Peace is the only way for peace. Violence can do nothing. So today, I think that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not going to I do not know how to tell you or ask different countries at the different concepts, different ways of doing it. I'm a Malaysian. I know what the Malaysians are doing. The Malaysians are doing exactly the same as the Indonesians are doing today. You know, you might thought as an Indonesian that Malaysia is much freer than Indonesia, but I don't think so. There's no right for me to say anything bad or anything good about Malaysia or about Indonesia. People who are longing for peace, you should do whatever you can. Never give up, but using a better way instead of trying to confront the government, stepping the red line and put yourself in danger. I don't want to see that. You want to do something, you have to protect yourself first. If you couldn't protect yourself, what could you do in the future? That's what I am trying to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Because time, I just want to say like this so that you can understand what I am doing today in Taiwan. I talk to many people coming from different countries. I esteem those people, local young generations, they should learn the past that freedom and democracy didn't come from nothing. They should preserve whatever by using their own power. This is what I'm trying to say today. I hope that you can understand This is my words. I hope that people can do the same as what I am doing today. Thank you for hearing my story. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you so much, Fred, for sharing about your story. It's been amazing seeing you again and listen to your story. And it's always so interesting that it was very bad situation in the past that there were around 14,000 people was the victim of white terror, and then there's 80% chance of that sentence during that time. And maybe we can move to the Q&A section since we already have one question here from the other speaker. And also I also invite all of the people on YouTube, if you have a question, please just write it up and I can say it to the speaker. So the question is, have Kania and Termana faced people with opposite ideas from not from the government but from civilians, and how do you face the situation and how's the baby step about it? And maybe I also want to ask a question for all of the speakers about how since trying to reach the justice is often hard and it's a long and lonely road, how do you do it and what makes you personally want to fight for it? Maybe Kania can answer first.
Waduh, okay, let me try. Actually, I already answered the question, but I will share. So yeah, in terms of face people with the opposite idea, majority in Indonesia they vote for human rights perpetrators as a president, and he become the president. So that's definitely a different. So we face the opposite. So the majority is the opposite of us. So the people is not with us. So feeling like that. But how do face this situation? So maybe because we're not really immediate like facing them like with the anger gitu ya, no. We actually develop a strategy for doing that. What we do is actually in Ajar, we using a different approaches working. We're not well we produce learning products, collaborating with the artists, and also Ajar have a lot of knowledge product using arts with the fun color like this. So talking about human rights, talking about the mass human rights violation is not using one color or like the blood color. No, like 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 the drag queen that you share, that the politics is not only talked by the politicians. So human rights violation is not only talked by the victims or the survivors, is in our daily life. So so we need to have a different strategy to build the narrative, because we believe making a narrative is a like the battlefield of the truth. So yeah, but then we have our challenges in the terms of the technology. Yeah, they can produce a lot of bot maybe, but then social media being infiltrated with the post truth, like maybe hoax and everything. But I don't know why, but I still believe the interpersonal connection is also the key. So maybe we have AI right now and everything, but then we can, feeling the different, right? Like we need the warmth of human connection. Like said before about humanity. It's about all human. So yeah, I think arts, it's actually part of our strategy. I also share to Sam to see our work about that. Um, and also we also thinking about that it's really impossible to work alone, to talk alone. So that's why like I said before, have a movement ecosystem. So we know who work we know our friends role in the movement. So if we want to collaborate, because we know that the most important thing to doing the law advocacy, I will call contrast, I will call the lawyer of contrast, like, gang, let's go doing this judicial review or anything. But we know that Ajar not leading of that, so we ask contrast to leading of that. So that's a collaborative, and like similar, like in the meaning of the art, the artist context. So yeah, that's what Ajar do. And the question from Amira, ini ya apa, justice ya, and how justice can be can you repeat again, sorry Amira, the about the justice.
Yes, sure. What makes you personally want to fight for justice?
Waduh, this is a personal question. It's very existentialist and very fundamental. Okay. Well, aduh. Personally ya, I don't know. Tapi I believe in personal is political. A little bit about a story about myself. I'm now struggling with the existentialism crisis that I don't think really relevant in this movement somehow, because I'm not like Termana, like I'm not part of the victims or survivors community. But then I realized that, am I being, like using their voice to work in it, to talk about justice? But then I realized that to make relevant uh, in these things, to make justice tangible, I also need being on the survivor shoes. That's why I'm believe in making critical allies for the survivors community. So what I do is actually still figuring out the relevancy of my personal in terms of the impunity. So I really need to see that impunity is a systemic problem, and also I'm being a part of the impact. I mean, like, my difficulties for now, the youth struggle, the youth vulnerability right now nowadays in Indonesia, in Taiwan, in many ways, it's actually happened because impunity in the past that not resolved by the government. So I I make myself believe that if I want to be in the future with the meaning, with the future, with the accountability, with the harmonization between human in the world, so I need to learn about the past. So I need to think that what happened today is because of the past, and I want to deal with the past. So for me, justice is not only in the law, it's not only in the trial. It's actually within myself to critically understand what is my role in this society, in this movement, to build future with accountability. I think that's my answer. It's really hard, yeah. Oh my God, the question is very deep. But yeah, I think that's what my reflection. I don't know. I really want to know better one because we have a different background. I think it's also interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Hania. Maybe Termana can continue since Well, you
Wow,
seem very ready to answer.
it's hard. Thank you, Amira. Thank you, Kania. And thank you, Susan, for the question. I mean, okay, before I'm going to the very hard question about existentialism, I would like to answer and add a little bit because Kania quite answered very complete about our situation today that, you know, human rights, I also answered it in chat box that 65 or human rights or even transitional justice is not popular issues. We have to, you know, quite often that we have to face people's or person or friends or even family with the opposite ideas about like what we have. They have different kind of reason, you know. Sometimes they say don't open old wounds. So we should focus on the future, you know. Even in our family, because I was born in the family that part of the survivor of 65, the big family even, you know, question us or even disagree with what we did in our community. You know, we have community called Taiwan 65, and in this community, it's basically the family community. But then since the 65 is not only about one family, but many families, we would like to dedicate a space for public, for peoples, for the truth itself. So in the family, even they said, don't expose the family shame to the publics. That's what we got. So in short, we are very often to face the opposite, you know, people that disagree with our movement. So how to face this one? Just a little to add Kanya a little bit. It's really important to contextualize the issue with, I mean, contextualize and embody the issue with everyday lives or with what the people's concerns today. Art is one tools. If you want to, we use art also. Please check our YouTube. Just go to Taman 65. We also produce songs called music album titled Prison Songs. But I think it's also important. You said earlier, son, collaboration between issues. 65 issues cannot be, you know, built by himself. We should be collaborate with other activists with environment issues, LGBTIQ issues, everything. And also we had one experience that's really interesting. One day, because in Bali right now, because less forest, less rice field, there are many snakes came entering to houses of the people right now. It's quite easily to find in the social media, the big snake entering the houses. And one day back then, we made a discussion about snake. We invited the youth also at the time has a very popular about the snake issue. So we invited them to come to 65 issues, to Taman 65, to our community. And then when we give them space to talk about snake, what is popular snake, why snake is there. But then we connected them with 65. We told them, okay, you know issues, you love snake. Snake is very cute animals. Snake is popular for some people. Snake is popular to entering the housing of the people. But you know what? Why then right now snake really easily to enter any house of the people? It's the basic is because of 65. Is in 65 issues, people start to talk about the land issues, the farmer, the labor movement, which is protecting the land in the equal way for the farmers. So after the genocide of 65, that kind of movement to give the land equally to the farmers disappeared. That's why a lot of rice field changed to become tourism infrastructure owned by those who has money, owned by those by investment, the investor, the labor, and the people doesn't have rights to protect their land, including the snake itself. That's why the snake entering the houses. So that's one way to connect the issue, contextualize the issue within the issue that concerned by different kind of people. I think that's really important, contextualizing the issue and connecting the issue in what we have. And I think you did a great job in Taiwan, San. Many things that we can do. Collaboration is a key. Art is a key also, and also, yeah, Hania mentioned a lot like trans intersectionalist issue. Also, that's really important. And like also like this collaboration between Contrast, Ajar, and Taman 65 and us in Taiwan to build the bridge about the issue is also really important. And back to the second question. This is, I agree with you, tough question. How do you personally wants to fight for justice? Yes, I was born in a family that we felt a discrimination because we were the family that really survivor of 65, you know. I felt the impact about 65, not because I'm in the third generation. My grandpa killed during the 65, but I found out that I got discrimination. The life of my fathers and my uncle got the discrimination because of 65 after senior high school. After I tried to find out the death of my grandpa. On that time, I asked my mom, where is your father? Where's my grandpa? I didn't see them. Oh, your grandpa died because of sick. That question, that end. When you said your grandpa died because of sick, no more question. But later on, when I studied in university, I found out that there are 65 happened in Indonesia. Many people got killed, and include my grandfather. I start to keep the question, why then my mom tell a lie of the death of his own father to his son? We live in the regime that preserving the tyranny of lie. Later on, I found out that at school, we also learn 65 only the killing of 6 general. We didn't learn about the mass killing. We didn't learn about thousands of people imprisoned without trial. We didn't learn about stigmatization. So can you imagine, son? The state teach us hide the truth. In the implication that the mothers also tell the lie about the death of his own father to his son because they are afraid about the implication to tell the truth. So I think this is personally that bring me to, come on, I don't want to preserve this kind of lie legacy. Right now I have a daughter. My daughter just kissed me, said, "Hey, I'm sorry, you talk too much, it's late already, I need to sleep." Okay, you know, so I don't want to continue that lie legacy. So that's, I think, my personal what's called, I don't know, I don't like the word of motivation, a personal reason. One of my personal reason fight for justice. I don't want to continue lie as the foundation of social relationship in between the families, in between the state, and even among others. Thank you.
Thank you, Termana, for sharing about your personal story. Maybe Fred also want to share? Or maybe Sam, if you want to also share about your personal reason.
Okay, I can share in a short. Um, when I want to do this work, I have thought about the question: just what's the motivation of me to engaging in this issue? And I'm not like Mana. I'm not from a victim's family, and none of my families are the victims, as I know. So, in the opposite, I was born in a family that they are rooting for KMT, which is the authoritarian parties in Taiwan. So, most of the people in my parents' age, they were educated in the KMT system. So they were rooting for KMT, and they were part of Chinese. Taiwan were part of China. Sorry, Taiwan is part of China. So this was quite different from my experience. So because I don't have great relationship with my parents, so I was curious, and I was I'm not confident with what they say, so I'm start to do the transitional justice work, and I want to know more about the Taiwan's history. And another personal reason is I often feel the same emotion in these stories from White Terror era. The emotion is feel betrayed because in my family, in my little family, I often feel betrayed or feel not believed by my parents. So I can imagine, I can feel the victims was what was the victims was thinking. So that's my personal reason and motivation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, for sharing. Now, I would like to invite if any of the speaker want to share any reflections or if there's anything missing from the presentation from earlier that you want to add. So maybe we can spare a little bit time since it's already late for all of us. So let me know if any of you want to share. No?
You
Okay.
mean it's like a
Mhm.
it's like a closing statement or what?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I think I just want to, make I really enjoy this conversation. I really appreciate Sam and also Fred to share. I know we have a different background, but I think this is the a little baby step, Sam, to knowing the position, like even though we're not in the survivors' families, but I think the most important thing to understand that we here is not for the sake of betrayal, to betray, apa sih? Ya, balas dendam. But anyway, we think that it's all because the humanity, like Fred said before. I think it's actually, this is actually the intergenerational learning, international level, yeah, in from Taiwan and Indonesia. I mean, this is the way we need to preserve. So if for me, if Termana said what 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 Indonesia doing right now is preserve impunity, we need preserve accountability as a counter narrative. And how we doing? We're not doing it with the military or violence, because we don't believe violence is the key, ya Fred, ya. Thank you for reminding us that violence is not the way. We believe that peace is actually work within the collaborative, the interpersonal relations, and to always transforming our position, our role, and searching for meaning. I think it's actually the best learning that I can get from you, Sam. That yeah, people are always searching for the meaning. The transitional justice is only the framework that might be not always be good because it's not, it's an idea, but what we want to do is people over idea. Yeah, I think the victim centered, focusing on the people itself, it's more important. So I really thank you for contrast, to doing this conversation, so we know our role, our position, so we can, yeah, I think we can see that maybe, I don't know, after Termana daughter have have a daughter again, or she become a grandmother, we can get the accountability in our world. We don't know. Thank
Thank you, Kania, for sharing. Anyone else want to have a closing statement, maybe? No? Okay. So then as
Oh,
we
good, because Kanya wrap it really good. But I'm really thank you for contrast for this, and thank you Fred and San and Kanya. It's really what's call it. I learned a lot, and it's really also Fred question: what is justice? That's really sharp. So we need to question that more and more. Keep questioning that to find, because justice maybe has also need new interpretation today. So this is like the action to find that, not only to find, also to implement it more in the justice way. So and for Kanye and San, you don't need to be a victims, family victims to fight for injustice. You know what I mean? Justice not or to fight for human rights, or but it's belong, the truth is belong to us, is the essence of life. You know what I mean? Sounds to penutur kejenihan, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, let's do it together, because yeah, yeah, I just like what Andi said. Rather than curse the situation, let's light up the candle together. Thank you.
thank you, Termana, for also sharing your word. So
So, a few words. Thank you, Contrast, for offering me this opportunity to speak here. I hope that in the future we can work hand in hand for the peace that we are looking forward to. I hope that in the future we might be part. No matter Indonesia, no matter Malaysia, no matter other parts of the world or Taiwan, we hope that we can work together to give our effort, so that effort can show the world that we are the people who respect human rights. We are looking for the so-called justice. Until that we didn't know much about justice, right? Justice to me is very easy, just as a human right. We respect each other. No matter who he is or who she is, we must respect each other. We didn't want to do anything in confronting others. This is the kind of way that humans should behave. Human can lead such a life as a human. Human born to be free. We are born to have justice. We have born to be enjoying our own life without any interference from other people. So let's work together hand in hand in the future for whatever we are looking forward. Thank you for so many what is this I learned a lot from the other three other speakers. Thank you for offering me the opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you and good night.
thank you so much, Fred, for also sharing your perspective today. I'm really grateful that you actually agreed to be one of our speaker. Maybe Sam also want to have closing statement?
Okay, so also I'm happy to join this conversation, and I learn a lot from the Indonesian experience, especially how to sustain the transitional justice work, and how to have an ecosystem, how what's our core, what's our heart from to do this action is humanities and 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 people to be to be collaborative. Okay, so I think another thing is important is that the Tamana says just put these things and this issue or these thoughts in our daily life, and it won't be quite far or quite deep as we think. It was originally with life. Okay. That's what I think for this conversation. And thank you for Fred, Kania, and Tamana, and Conscious.
Thank you, Sam. And also, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude for all of our speakers, Fram, Temana, Kania, and Fred, for sharing their expertise and experience, and also all the participants that listened to our webinar, and also the organizing team for making this event possible. And we also hope that today's discussion has been both informative and inspiring. And last but not least, I would like to also inform that we will hold another discussion next week on 28th January 2026 at the same time today, 7 p.m. Jakarta time or 8 p.m. Taipei time. And we will explore the freedom of association in Indonesia and Taiwan, including the current civic space situation and the legal framework on the context of assembly and the impact of this regulation on decision in granting civil liberties. And if you are interested, please check Contra social media account. And once again, thank you for joining us today and have a good and wonderful day ahead, and goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you. Kamsha, Kamsha.
Bye. Thank
Kamsha.
you.
Bye bye.
Kamsha.
Kamsha.
See you.
See you.
See you.